Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the e-commerce lab by Ecomcy, the place of everything related to Amazon FBA parallel and e-commerce. My name is Vincenzo Toscano, your host, founder, and CEO of Ecomcy. And today, as you can see in the camera, we have a special guest, a zebra. So no, actually, he's
Hello.
my friend Vadim. So Vadim actually is the founder and CEO of Some Photo, which actually is an amazing agency, one of the top in the space when it comes to helping with everything in terms of the visuals and like images, A plus content, video, and so on for your Amazon listings. We actually met around 1 month ago
Mm.
in Lithuania. Yes, in Lithuania, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we
was a
met
good
there
time.
at Orange Click. Yeah, nice time.
Mm.
And after I saw the presentation that Vadim did there and basically some of the past work, I thought it was very important for me to bring him on the show so we can get a little bit about his knowledge. So yeah, Vadim, welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Thanks for introduction. Excited to be here. Thanks. Been also great to meet you and follow what you're doing as well in the space. And yeah, thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure, bro. A pleasure, always. So let's start with Vadim, right? I think I always do this, and I know I always mention this, but it's just the way I love the format is because I feel like every single person I meet, they have an interesting journey, they have ups and downs, and they have basically a transition up to the point of joining the commerce space and eventually launching their business, and a lot of people find that inspiring and also can learn from it. So it would be great if you can tell me a little bit about how you jump into the commerce space and you founded your agency in some photo, and then of course we can dig a little bit deeper into the strategy and everything that people could use for their Amazon listings. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for that. So basically, yeah, I was Amazon seller myself. Uh, I mean, before that, even like before jumping into being entrepreneur, I was into music. I'm coming from music industry, and then I was doing lots of different things. Eventually, I was a street musician for 3 years.
Mm,
Did that
okay.
professionally, and this is where the zebra comes from. Bringing it with me, it's a legacy that follows me. You need to stand out and also
Yeah.
stand out in the market. So basically, yeah, I did Amazon for 2.5 years, then successfully sold my brand, and it's just eventually I was doing Amazon images for myself. I saw how it impacts my business, and then I was
Yeah.
helping different friends,
Yeah.
sellers. We shared different insights. And when I sold my business, eventually I was thinking, okay, what else can I do now? So while there was transition period and all that, I just started doing images. And I had a vision that I want to create a service that's all inclusive, that's kind of takes charge of every creative aspect of selling on Amazon and includes
Yeah.
everything, like all the marketing, research, branding, everything. And this vision is now called Zone Photo.
Yeah. I love it, bro. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that with us. I appreciate it. I think it's actually a very interesting journey. I find that there is a lot of I will say consistency when I go back and see other founders as well. That usually when we start as a seller, we always end up discovering the other part of the coin, which is you could actually not only be a seller on the industry but also provide your knowledge to
Hmm.
support other Amazon sellers or people that want to enter the Amazon space. And I love what you've been doing with with your companies on photo, because I bet
Hmm.
a lot of the things you actually implement there were things that you learn and mistakes that you went through as a seller, and now you're basically using that to make sure they don't go through the same hustle basically. Now let's start bringing to the table the topic, which is basically everything around images and basically the visual content we should be having on a listing to improve our conversions. Talk me to a little bit about right now in 2023, like what are some of the key things you're seeing moving more than needle in terms of improving conversions based on your experience. Yeah.
Sure. Right. So for the past, I would say, 2 years, I would say maybe three. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen more and more content coming out in regards
Mm-hmm.
to images about branding and marketing, things like that. I mean, already 4 years ago, when I was on a first conference, there was Sasha. I remember I met Sasha, and she kind of introduced that branding aspect. And think why I'm mentioning that, because I know many Amazon sellers and myself as well. When we start business, we just look for product,
Yeah.
we look at the margin, ROI, we find product, we launch it, and maybe at that point, we're not really thinking like a
Yeah.
brand. Like, we just thinking about making money, making sales. Eventually everyone goes through this phase that at some point they
Mm-hmm.
start realizing, hey, I'm actually, I could be a brand. I want to look
That's right.
more like a brand. And that's they start thinking about social media expanding outside Amazon. And this is also kind of been journey with ZonPhoto, first helping sellers just with the images, and then
Okay.
actually we saw this trend going forward into branding. And this is what I think nowadays is a trend to actually build brands, not
Mm.
just do images to differentiate themselves.
Yeah. Super important. I think branding is something that, I mean, nowadays on Amazon is a must, and I know I say this also on most of the episodes when we talk about what people is struggling on Amazon, and it's because people nowadays they keep having the mentality of the way of making it on Amazon is just by going to Alibaba, taking a product, putting a logo on it, and call it a brand. And we definitely know that's not the case anymore in terms of how successful you can be if you do that, because it just the amount of competition that there is out there. If you're only going to be competing on price and you have nothing else to differentiate, like I feel that's the first huge mistake most people do, because we both agree here you could have amazing branding and images as well, but if you do the initial thing which is pro research wrong as well, I think that's also a key factor here. I think you also need to make sure you're very well differentiated. Now, assuming that's the case here, and people want to start their journey into creating a
Mhm.
brand, like how do you even get started with that? Because let's be honest, doing a brand is something difficult, and most people don't have the experience about how to do it. Like because it's something that most people do it only once, pretty much, right? On the last time. So tell me, what are some of the key factors as an Amazon seller you should be looking into to create the branding feeling? Like you, for example, in
Mhm.
your agency, what are some of the things you focus for your clients to create the brand feeling for a product? Yeah.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I got your question. So, yeah, one of the, I guess, key things that I mentioned to clients when it comes to branding is introducing them to the theory of brand archetypes. There is a
Okay.
book actually, and I'll have it here. Yeah, there
Mm.
is a book that's been written by uh, Mark and Pearson, Mark and Carol Pearson, and that's been kind of revolutionary in terms of branding and marketing.
Okay.
And basically, what it is, she introduces, and if you just Google that, you will find a page where it shows you the wheel of 12 brand archetypes. And if
Okay.
you just think about that, basically, you can be selling one product in 12 different ways. When you start thinking about brands like that, then I mean that would be the main beginning. So what
Yeah.
these archetypes are essentially, they are your brand personality. So there
Okay.
are for some of them, for example, Explorer. Very good example of that is North Face, or for example, there is a hero, Nike,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, like different ones. I mean, you can find all examples on them, and once you define your brand personality, then I think it's a good start where you can move forward. Maybe logo is not as important at this stage as actually defining who you want to be, how your personality. um,
Yeah.
I would
I
start
guess
with
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I guess something that enters into this is creating the avatar, right? Like, what is the avatar of people you're gonna target with that branding? because I guess if you don't understand in the first place what kind of customers you're actually advertising to or trying to target, then you might get the branding wrong, just based on your perception alone of not having done the market research about what people in that specific niche are looking forward to see, right? On the
True,
branding.
true. Yeah, true as well. That yeah, you need to look at the target audience as well first. So there's always has to be your brand purpose has to align um, with your customer kind of values. So when you say we are this kind of brand, you're introducing that. You need to make sure that in that story you mention those values that people actually seek for, and the same is what you say in other things. Basically, it has to be always aligned. There's a brand matrix that you can follow, where you kind of
Okay.
just write on one side all the wants of people, and then on the
Yeah.
other side you point out all what your brand is offering, your
Okay.
core values, uh, your uniqueness has to align with what people actually looking for, and things like
Yeah.
that. This would be the good way, not just think about one side but always two sides. That's exactly what you're saying now.
Okay. Super important. And now when you do this branding, would you say that on the Amazon side of things, whenever you're gonna launch a brand and you're gonna launch a specific niche, um, do you recommend using as an inspiration other brands, or at the same time that could be dangerous because then you could end up doing pretty much the same as your top competitors and not really thinking outside the box? Like how do you avoid that, especially even with images as well? Like we know you need to do market research and you need to see what our competitors are doing, but I guess we also should be adding a factor of, I guess, imagination and also a bit of outside of the box thinking to be different, right? What do you advise on that point, for example?
Okay, so you mean how to position yourself in a
Yeah,
competitive market?
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
different.
So
Mm-hmm.
basically, when we talk about positioning and I guess marketing,
Yeah.
we come to the point of marketing. So there's branding and marketing. Branding is understanding who you are and how it aligns with target audience, and marketing is how you embrace that. So when we come to image strategy, what images you're gonna have, we're talking about strategy and positioning. So there are different. There are actually some actionable things you can do. Of course, first you start with looking at your main competitors.
Yeah.
What we
Hmm.
do in our agency, we would download all the images of each competitor. We would put it in
Okay.
Google presentations, and then we would segment the information that they have in the images
Mm.
by content. And
Okay.
by doing that, you will notice that lots of information repeats. For example, you might notice that your seven of your competitors have what's included image, or seven of them talk about the same benefit,
Mm.
or things like that. And that's where you
So
can
you try to
start.
find synergies in terms of what are the best sellers doing to make sure you have some of those factors in the images, right? You
Yeah,
compare
you
one
need
to one. Hmm.
exactly. First, you need to identify, okay, what things that are working for them, uh, and also you at the same time you want to differentiate yourself. You don't want to repeat what they are
Yeah.
doing, and
Yeah, of course.
you want to find kind of new unique selling points, new ways to introduce your brand or product, or say things that they're not saying, that would differentiate you, just by mentioning some key factors, or just tweaking information in a way that no one else did in the
Yeah.
market. For
Okay.
so there are different tricks, but like you said, it's always looking at your competitors first.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when it comes to designing the images, I always feel like you need to set up this as a storytelling, right? Image one does one thing, image two does another thing, and you try to basically take the customer through a journey that by image six they understand in a few seconds already what is the product about, why yours is different, and how you basically provide a solution to an issue that maybe the competitor is not doing. So, being saying that, do you have like a like must do's for images that you want to share with us today? Like you must always have this, you must always have that. So, if you could share those, that would be amazing, so people can have an understanding as well. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and to make it more actionable, yeah, it's useful to actually have some pointers. So yeah, the first pointer I would say, um, don't overcrowd your images with features. So it's
Okay.
always great to put one or maximum two features per image. And we see that a lot, that sellers, they try to put too many things in one
All
image.
information that they can. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, if you have so many features, just try to put them as segments, to put them in categories. Like, look at your
Mm-hmm.
product. If you're talking about one part of the product, talk about
Mm-hmm.
everything that's in there. But yeah, this is one thing. Just one feature per image, one message per image, because people from consumer behavior, they can't comprehend a lot of information, and they have more focus and clarity if it's just one message per image. So ideally, you would have one feature or one benefit or one claim or anything per image.
Mm-hmm.
This is one thing that will already give you clarity. Second thing, what you can do, there's, I mean, copywriting as well. I know when we talk about overcrowding images, actually there are scientific tools available to us.
Yeah.
We are in this century where you can actually upload images or drop a sales copy in on internet, and it's going to tell you is it readable or not.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yeah.
visual tests that I know branding agencies do. There are clarity tests. I mean, there's been Rudolf Flesch, for example, in 1940. He made scientific kind of formula
Mm-hmm.
on clarity. So this
Okay.
is one. Basically, you count syllables, words, paragraphs, sentences, and what it also looks at, and it's very important, is at the words, words you are using. Are they specific or they general words? The more
I
specific
see.
you are, the more you kind of paint that perfect picture in the mind of consumer. So these kind of tests are available. You can Google them and you can test your images. This is like a second thing you can do. So your story kind of has one message per image. Then you make sure it's clear. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
then put your main unique selling points or claims in the second image. Second is actually, we had a debate with some people in industry that actually A/B testing second image is also has a place, because this
Yeah.
is how you start your story, and this is the
Yeah.
image we believe that mostly gets clicked on.
Yeah. In fact, I heard, I haven't tested, and my team was talking about this, that now apparently Amazon allow you to split test the second image as well. No.
All right.
So
Wow.
so now you know that the moment you can do the main image, the title, bullet points, and all that. Now you can do second image. So what you're saying, I'm interested to test it, because I think people only think about one, the main image, and forget about the second image. So I
Yes.
think maybe, yeah, for sure, that's something that a lot of people must be dropping the ball in there, like they're not using the right synergy between image one and two, and they're losing a ton of conversions there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so we're talking about, okay, the must have of an image, which is great. Now, what I want to understand as well when it comes to images, like, what is usually your approach nowadays with the content within the image? Because some people now is using render generated, at least on the product side of things, and then they do photography with the for the people in back or things like that, or people do full photography. Some people combine AI with photography. It's like, what are you seeing that is happening in the space? Because I know there's a lot of things going on, uh, what is usually your approach in there? Like, what do you think is more efficient?
Yeah, in terms of photography and visuals, what actually
Yeah.
you're showing, I think it still comes down to the basics. Like, we can't forget the basics, and basics is uh, our actually, psychological need to see the
Mm-hmm.
product from different angles. That comes
Yeah.
from the actual real life. So internet is just a simulation of real life. So in real life, when you would go to shop and you would want to buy something, what you would do, you would take a product, you would
That's right.
turn it from different sides, you would look at it, you would touch it, you would try to read some information. So same thing happening uh, online. And what you're doing with imagery doesn't matter if it's AI or if it's 3D renders or photography. You need to make sure that in your 6 images you're always changing these angles and you are creating a story not just with context and features, but also alone with photography. So you can
Hmm.
actually do a test where you just remove all the text from like the way you can think is remove all the
Yeah.
text from your images and just look at the story, at the photography. And I would say you need to include uh, 3Ds. 3Ds we
Okay.
call three-dimensional angles.
Yeah.
Then there should be flat lay, there should be lifestyle. This is what people usually do, these three
Hmm.
ones.
That's right.
I mean,
Hmm.
with AI, there is a problem with lifestyles sometimes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
big problem with AI currently, I mean, maybe it's going to develop as we go forward, is handshots. And what we see in
Yeah.
space, what we tried ourselves, is AI generating.
Extra fingers and things like that. I had
It's
seen
very
it.
common to have 10 fingers in one arm and things like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's going to get better, but still, we're missing handshots and close ups. So, these are 5 angles that I would recommend including
Hmm.
in the whole presentation. And if you know
Okay.
this kind of rule, this is the basic, and it doesn't maybe matter that much. I mean, it's not gonna matter how you make these images. We still have the same psychology what we want to see. So
Mm.
this is, I guess, above what tools you are using.
Yeah. Awesome. Now, in terms of, let's also bring a little bit to the table video, right? Because
Right.
video is something that in Amazon nowadays super super important, especially because what you just said, like a lot of people when they shop they don't have the opportunity to touch the product and interact with it, and if you don't have video, like you're basically wasting the opportunity for people to fill that gap, right? So what is some of your take on video, like what is the length you see working the most right now, and what is the type of video working more efficient? Is what I mean by type of videos, like unboxing video, so lifestyle video, or review videos. Like what do you think now realistically is working the best in terms of creating that link and genuinity with the client?
Hmm. Yeah, we see different kind of videos appearing. I mean, there's been a trend for UGC content, where
Yeah.
user generated content, where maybe, I mean, people kind of moving away from professional grades
Yeah,
to
I heard that if it's too professional, apparently it sometimes affects conversion because people don't connect with it, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, we still believe in good storytelling, and if you have a good
Mm,
video professionally made, it still can make impact. Um, I mean, for example, for supplements brands, I know it's a big thing, and also we recommend for our clients is to have these review videos where people just holding, I don't know, supplement, saying how
yeah.
great it is. And there are some really good examples in space where you can see they really utilizing
Mm,
UGC in lots of videos you can have. Then
yeah.
with Premium A Plus, you have this
Yeah.
video carousel now, where you can actually put this all UGC contents in carousel. Obviously, coming up these video modules that's a kind of new thing that appeared. Obviously, everyone wants to have a video in Premium A Plus. Um, uh, so in terms of what's working, I would say look at your niche, and I mean it's
Mm,
more product specific. Obviously, when it's supplement, I mean depends what's the role. Do you want to add social proof? Do you want to
yeah.
explain how it works? You need to understand the concern that you're trying to solve. So again, it's coming from marketing perspective.
Yeah.
What's actually the purpose of that video? If in your niche customers are really concerned how to piece it together, if it's some complicated thing, then they will find it really helpful if you show that. if you feel like it's, for example, I don't know, ashwagandha, you're selling ashwagandha, there's so many of it, and you don't know how to differentiate it. I mean, what would really help is social proof. If like lots of people really showed that, oh, this is the best ashwagandha, if like 10
Yeah,
people tell you that in videos, you're probably gonna believe it.
yeah,
So you need to find what's needed. Again, come from target research, target audience research, and address that in the video. And like you said, it's really good space to show also all the angles, how it feels, and provoking sensual experience as well.
yeah. Very important. Now when it comes to video, do you recommend right now, because as you, I'm pretty sure you're aware, you can do a sub a PPC with video, right? So you
Yeah,
can have a video for advertisement and one for your listing, and now you could even have video for A plus premium, right? So
correct.
what do you think right now is really the ideal? I mean, ideally you have a video for each, but let's be honest, some people don't have sometimes the budget to do that.
Yeah,
Taking
true.
that into consideration, do you recommend just having a flat 45-second, 30-second video and repurpose that across? Or realistically, you say, yeah, for PPC, if it's an unboxing, it's not gonna work, or if it's a specific thing that you wanna use for advertisement based on experience not working, you need to do this, and that. Do you have some maybe insights you can share about that regarding what video type of video works for what type of placement, basically? Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're on a budget, I would still kind of aim for that 30
Mm-hmm.
second video where you explain the main features, positioning, unique selling points. You also introduce your brand personality, and just making sure you can repurpose it for ads. Pay attention to the first like 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Sometimes what we do as well, we create a video, and then from that video we cut out the most interesting parts, the most visually appealing, that would be working as a clickbait. And
Mm-hmm.
this could be like slow mos are really good in that. For example, we had a really, really successful case study,
Mm.
probably the most successful in 5 years. That was the seller that first time appeared in the market, where no one had a video, and he was the first one.
Mm.
So
Okay.
yeah, and he became a bestseller with 48 reviews, beating, I mean, big competitors. Average review count in the niche was 980.
Mm.
Second, like bestseller was like 2,000 reviews. There was another one 800.
Wow.
And yeah, so this was, and what we used in that video in the beginning, it was a shower scene where like we see in slow motion these shower drops
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
dropping, and it's already giving you a mood, and it's kind of catching your attention and giving that premium feel. um,
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I think and it's good that you bring this case to the table, because that clearly shows that, as you say, because you did this specific thing different with this brand, that basically created that explosion in terms of conversion. But I guess at the end of the day, it's all about split testing. We could be sitting here talking about the perfect video format and the images and all that, but at the end of the day, I guess it's all about trial and error. You need to try, see how it performs, go back to the board, do it again, and this actually opens us my next question, which is how often we need to do revisions of our images, because people think that you do images and video once and then that's for life, which is, we know that's not the case. So how often you will say it's important to really keep an eye and do revisions? Yeah, in this.
Mm-hmm. So I would like probably at least as a minimum two times a year. I would evaluate, do competitor research, look at
Mm-hmm.
what competitors we have in space, and which competitors actually, have changed images, updated images. It would
Mm-hmm.
be great if there was a tool, maybe there is, who could track image changes as well with
Yeah.
competitors, where you select top 10 competitors and you follow them. You could have VA doing that on monthly basis as well. I mean, it's important because your competitors are also updating images. They're looking at what's happening. And if you have a really good listing, and this happened to many of our clients, once you become a bestseller, everyone else is just copying you. And it could,
Yeah.
and we had we one client where we created really cool brand personality for him. We were using green plants together
Mm,
with cats and things like that. It was a cat product, and
mm,
like a few months later, everyone has these green plants across their listings.
I
So
know.
they had to change their branding. They hired a branding
Wow.
agency. They did completely new branding. They came back to us and say, "Hey, we have this new concept. Let's redo all our images." And eventually, it worked. They said, "Let's do one listing, see how it goes." And recently, they contacted me and said, "Okay, let's do the whole catalog now." Uh,
Mm,
so how
okay.
often you have to do that? I would keep an eye. Just, I mean, if you can on monthly basis, but at least two times a year.
Yeah.
And what you can do also, always keep experimenting. Maybe with your not main image that much. I mean, if it works, it works. But just keep an eye what's happening on page one as well. How these main images are changing. You always need to be standing out and breaking the pattern. But in terms of your initial images, you can experiment with the order. Also, a very good thing what you can do is you can go on Product Pinion, one
Mm,
of the services that we use, and you can
yeah.
actually pay for the
I have
videos
you.
where
It's very good. Yeah.
yeah, where people click on your listing, and you can see how they shop. You can see how they reading your images, and that can reveal you lots of things that you can maybe change the order, or just make your
Yeah.
title more clear or something, or change the angle. For example, with one client recently, we just did audit. He was selling for many years. He has
Mm,
7,000 reviews, and
wow.
we did research, product opinion, and like 4 out of 10 participants said that they don't understand what this bonus item is. Everyone had a different idea of what this item is, and it
Yeah.
was in two images, on main image and the other image, and no one had a clue. They were just like guessing, and they took it as, oh, they have this, like this is a really cool thing, and it's actually not the thing.
Yeah.
uh,
Interesting.
so things you can discover also through like product opinion, just
Yeah.
having a second
I
opinion.
know. Yeah, I think it goes back to initial point, which is you need to understand your avatar and the people you're targeting. And sometimes if you do assumptions based on your beliefs, you could end up doing the wrong design of branding just based on perception that might be wrong, you know. So
And look, we have so many tools now that can give you target audience research. Before, like 3 years ago, I thought, okay, what actually we have on custom? We don't have their emails. We don't have like,
yeah,
what usually. But now you have brand analytics where it gives you gender,
yeah,
marital status, income. Another thing that AI has brought is these lots of services that analyzing reviews. Data Dive just also did a AI update on that,
yeah,
implementing review research. So I think review research as such will definitely become like a baseline, like
a
what you
must.
have to do. Yeah, a
Yeah,
must. I see this definitely happening now. Where before it was just, it would take so much time to read all of them. Now just in a few clicks you can get a whole report on what people expect, what they like, what they dislike, are they man or female commenting,
yeah. What people are looking to
what
receive, what features are missing, what people are always unhappy, and yeah, super important because I know that the pain points are what you need to highlight on your graphic design, you know. And now with the reviews, so with a few buttons, you can know that, which is super important.
exactly.
Awesome. So, Vadim, I mean, it's been an amazing episode, and thank you for sharing all your knowledge. I mean, this is a topic that we could be here for hours and hours. It's like such an extensive topic, but I think we cover, the basics and things people should be always looking forward when it comes to optimization. And before we conclude, I want you to tell me a little bit about how people can reach out to you and your agency because this is what you do every single day. I'm sure
Right.
that people that is currently struggling with the images and basically, conversions and so on can reach out so you can help them with them. Yeah.
Sure. So you can always, I would say, give me a follow or give me a send me a friend request on Facebook. You can find me Vadim Petrov. I don't know, maybe you can include a link to my profile.
Yeah, I
But
will. Hmm.
sure, sure. Info. Also, I mean, you can send email if you have any questions. info@zonphoto.com. You can check our website. Even just checking our website for inspiration on what's
Mm.
possible, maybe is really cool thing. We also have different videos, also case studies. Just for inspiration, I guess it's
Yeah.
really good. And also we have Instagram zonephoto.agency, where we now
Okay.
like going full in doing reels, like we want to do like really useful content, what we shared also with you, different tips and tricks, also on my Facebook timeline.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vadim. It's been a pleasure and looking forward to see you soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have
amazing.
a nice one, bro.
Thanks,
Take
Vincenzo.
care.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.